My father was the pastor at Constance Evangelical Free Church for nearly 25 years. And in 1976, my mother passed away. My father just felt that he couldn't continue on in the ministry there without her at his side. And so he resigned from the church and went to work with an evangelist named Aubrey McGann. And the very first thing they asked him to do was to travel to the Philippines. And while we walked through the streets of Cebu, I was stunned to see children sleeping on the streets and begging. And it was then that the Lord prompted me to go back and share what I had seen with friends and relatives.
As she was coming home on the airplane, she wrote me a letter and talked to me right away when she got back and told me that she wanted to go back.
We were all ears, we were interested to hear about it, but we didn't really even know where the Philippines was.
I shared my dream with Paul, who was just a friend at the time. We were married 9 months later, and after that we reached the point where we said, well, maybe this is just a crazy idea. And it was shortly after that that Paul shared our dream with some college students at Bethel. And there happened to be a young man there that evening who had a trust fund, and he gave us half of his trust fund, which was $40,000.
So we had a few contacts, we had an idea of what we wanted to do, but we didn't know how to do it.
We had a vision of taking care of a lot of kids. We imagined ourselves standing with clipboards, but that's not what God had in store for us. And we started a ministry that was very small. We started with one child.
It was just something new and different, and we all had to learn together.
As we started taking in more kids, pretty soon our house was full. And we started thinking about the future, what we might do. And so we rented a second house. And within a couple years, that one was full as well. A man who was a missionary in Cebu, working with the Evangelical Free Church, told us about a friend of his, and he asked us about, what are your plans for the future? We said, we'd like to have a space for all of our kids together. And he said, I'd like to build it for you.
It's much bigger than what we had even imagined it to be. We thought we'd have this little home a few hours out of Cebu City, and we thought the kids would probably just grow up there and they would be, we'd be like one big happy family. We ended up in the city of Cebu, which is better. It's closer to all the medical needs and everything. And we've got much more interested in adoption potential for the kids.
But we really believe that every child deserves a family. So that means to try to be like a family as much as we can, but we're not a real family. And we have placed kids in 15 different countries all around the world through adoption. CSC has been able to reach out and impact the world. In 2019, we undertook a solar panel project where our 2 residences and our school now have solar panels. This has been a great thing for CSC in our attempt to keep our expenses down and have more of the money for food and medicine for the kids. What we've found is we've been able to cut our electrical expenses by 40 to 50%, and we expect that will even get bigger savings in the future. So that's been a great thing, and it impacts the children in many significant ways.
It has been incredible to see the Lord's hand in this and how He orchestrated this ministry since day one, because there are definitely things that we never could have accomplished.
The story of CSC is a story of generosity. A generous God who loves these kids so much more than we do, and He's the one who works in people's hearts to inspire that kind of generous giving. And that generosity has helped hundreds and hundreds of kids.
That's the one thing that we tell every single visitor that comes here, that when they leave, we hope that you leave with the knowledge that it is the Lord's ministry.